What's up, Whale community? This is Fabio, and welcome to Blockchain Beats, where we discuss the intersection of everything music and NFTs. Our guests today feature the amazing voice of Pauline Herr and the eclectic beats of Twerl. Together, they combine to create music that, well, for me, it truly takes me to another place. We will discuss their new song, Stay With Me, their experiences diving into the NFT space, and their amazing artistry. Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
For those who may not know you too well, can you tell us a bit about yourselves, regarding your music, how you came to discover music, and so forth?
So I'm actually, I'm a vocalist, but I'm also a producer and a DJ. I got into this space by going to festivals and stuff, and I was really inspired by seeing artists there. And I've always kind of done music on the side, just wrote songs when I was younger on the piano and stuff, and then got into production a bit. But after going to festivals, I kind of wanted to look into doing music more as a career. So I dropped out of college and ended up moving to LA from Wisconsin to go to this school called Icon Collective. That's a music production school. And since then, I've just been working hard, making a lot of music, releasing music. I just got off tour with R.L. Grime, who's been a huge inspiration of mine since forever. And yeah, it's a quick walkthrough. And then in terms of like the NFT space, my homie Rio Kraken invited me onto this platform called Sound a few months ago. So I released my first music NFT with them, which sold out. Yes, this one. And then I put a old song of mine on Catalog recently, which was bought by I'm forgetting the name, but this one, yes. Got some nice offers on this. And then me and my boyfriend, Jaden, who's below me, we just put out a song called Stay With Me, which you'll hear soon. And we'll talk about that more in a bit. But yeah, that's me.
Nailed that. Yeah, so my name's Jaden. I write music under Twerl. I guess I got into things through my older brother. He used to be like a trance DJ, and I got into it when I was around 15. And then I remember going to my first festival underage, and I saw Skrillex and Deadmau5, and I was like, this is just crazy. Like, this is what I want to do. And then from there, just started producing, got my engineering degree, audio engineering. And yeah, just took it seriously. And then this has been going on for about, I'd say, 7 years. Yeah, I don't really know what else there is to say. It's just been ticking along for 7 years, really.
Talk
Yeah.
about your shows and stuff.
Yeah, we'll definitely dive into all of that for sure.
Okay.
All right, so I wanted to start off by playing a song to kind of help everyone get into the headspace of the type of music that y'all are creating or create.
Is this Obsession? Oh yeah.
All right. And can you tell us a bit about like kind of the background of this song, or like where you were, how the song,
Um,
stuff like that?
I actually wrote this about Jaden. I
Yeah.
produced it as well. Everything on this is me. I released it with this label called Night Mode. They're awesome because they do DMCA free stuff. Because the guy that owns it is a big Twitch streamer. He goes by Tucker or
Jericho. Yeah.
Jericho.
Tucker Boner.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a emotional kind of banger wavy song. I don't know what genre this would be, but yeah, I like emotional stuff, so hopefully you guys can feel that.
I definitely feel you on the genres. I feel like what are genres these days?
I know.
All right.
I've been waiting for someone like you. I've been waiting. Can't believe I finally found you. Could you be the one I need? You're my obsession. You're my obsession. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. Sounds a lot longer than I remembered.
That was great. I don't know if it was just my headphones, but I could definitely feel the hard hitting drums.
Yeah.
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 What software did you use to make that? I'm just curious as a producer.
I use Ableton.
Ableton?
So right now I'm
Okay.
in Ableton 11, but I think I probably made that in 10.
Just before 10. Yeah, just before 11 came out.
Beta 11 or something.
Yeah.
That's a really great song. The sign art, the sign, I don't know what it was, the sign melody thing that played throughout the whole time.
So that's
funny. That's
a
actually from my sample
that
pack.
you gave me.
Yeah, from my sample pack. I can yeah, you say you produce?
Yeah, I produce mainly other stuff.
I'll hook you up with the sample pack after. Maybe Pauline, I can give you hers as well. She's got
Hey, for sure.
Yeah. Got you.
Okay, so Paulina, you said you did a multitude of things: sing, songwrite, produce. Then you moved to LA, dropped out of college, and then went to Icon Collective, and then that's when you really kind of started to develop and grow, as an artist. How was that process? Like, because I imagine that must feel scary at first.
Oh yeah. Definitely scary. Obviously, moving to another country, or not country, sorry, another state.
Another country.
Luckily, my brother actually lives in LA as well. He moved here like 3 years before I did. So I had him, which was nice. But it's funny because the icon, or just the music industry in general, is mostly guys, as we know, which I'm hoping to see some changes soon. But yeah, so the school I went to, Icon, was like the ratio of like guys to girls was probably like 50-1. So I had no girls in my class, which was a class of like 25, I think. So it was definitely an adjustment, just being, the only girl. But it was great. All the teachers were really cool, and I learned like pretty much everything I needed to know about music production and music business and stuff. And it definitely like kickstarted things for me in terms of like just my knowledge and stuff, getting out of Icon. So once I got out of there, I kind of had the tools to become successful. It took me a little while to like gain traction with music and stuff, and I had to release a few of my own songs before people started like giving me any recognition. But in the last like year or two, I've definitely seen people kind of seeing my music more and stuff. So hopefully it's up from here. But yeah, it's been about 3.5 years since I graduated now. And yeah, I forget what the question even was, but
No, that was perfect. It sounds like Icon gave you all of the tools necessary to help you, and then you just took that and just stacked on top, your creativity and
exactly.
And then Twerl, you're from Perth, Australia. Are you still based out over there?
For now, I'm actually moving to Bali in 3 weeks, and I should have my US visa in the next couple of months. So I'll probably be relocating at some time this year to the States. Yeah.
How is that? I don't know if there's like a big difference from, being over there in that music scene versus how it is in the States.
We definitely have a really good music scene in Australia. Like, super supportive. There's a lot of good talent that comes out of Australia. I don't know. You got like Flume, What's Not, Blank, like a lot of big electronic artists. It's a really good community. The only downside is everything is quite spread apart, and just the population. Obviously, there's a lot more shows going on in the States and more, just because there's simply more people. So you're quite limited in what you can do in Australia, which is why people tend to migrate, who are in the electronic scene. So that's the only downside. But apart from that, it's really good. We have like a really good music community out here. Super supportive.
Nice. And yeah, like that kind of makes sense. And unfortunately, that's out of your control. You can't determine how many people live in a continent.
Yeah, that's it.
And you said you got into music, or you felt like, it was time for you to pursue music after you went to see Deadmau5 and Skrillex.
Yeah, I actually I snuck into a music festival when I was 15, and I saw them play, and I was like, this is just insane. Like, I was already kind of like, because I was already DJing, I was like, but then that's when I knew I wanted to start making music. From then I decided to go study audio engineering at SAE. Didn't get a whole lot out of that. It wasn't like Icon for Paulina, where they teach you like literally what you want to know to be an electronic producer or a music producer of any genre. This one was more so like, okay, we'll show you how to use mixing desks and record live audio, and that just wasn't what I wanted to learn. So I actually ended up teaching myself everything, and then I really like dived in after I completed that degree and started pretty much just releasing remixes and like flips of artist stuff. And that's kind of when I started to get noticed a bit, like Alice in Wonderland and Nightmare and a few of those people started playing my songs out, and then R.L. Grime. And then that's kind of how I got a name for myself. And then that sort of snowballed into releasing original music, labels taking notice, and then that sort of thing. Yeah, that's kind of where it started.
Well, both of y'all's work ethic has definitely shown in the music itself. You reminded me, Paulina, how did you and RL Grime, manage to connect and you went on the tour? How did that all come about?
So he has this label called Sable Valley. I'm actually wearing the hoodie right now. Big fan. But they do this like compilation of artists every year called Sable Valley Summer, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And they asked me if RL saw me post a song snippet on my Twitter that I was working on. I sometimes post like a screen recording of my Ableton session. And he wanted to release that song on the compilation, so I ended up releasing that with them. And then I hear my dog. And then his one of his managers reached out to me about their tour that was coming up to see if I wanted to play. So obviously it was a yes for me, but it was definitely scary because I hadn't known how to DJ by the time they reached out to me. So I had to learn how to DJ within like 3 months. So I pretty much just was head in the decks for 3 months straight, just working on my set and learning how to mix and stuff. But yeah, that's about it there. I've been a huge fan of him ever since I started listening to EDM and stuff, and saw him at a festival like 6 or 7 years ago, and I was like, this guy's fucking dope. All the lights and stuff. And when he played Core, if anyone knows that song, I was like, I want to do that. That's really cool.
It's kind of similar to the thing with me. Just like you see a show like that and you're like, okay, this is this is nuts.
Just how how memorable that experience was. Like I just love the thought of, giving that experience to other people. And it's been a crazy few years.
All stemming from an Instagram story?
You
Twitter.
Screen
recording your Twitter. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
It's crazy how things can happen like that.
Right. Yeah. And now usually, I post them a lot because I'm like, well, what if someone hears it?
Yeah. And that's kind of like the route I took with the flips as well. Like it was originally, it was always for fun, but all it takes is for one person, the right person, to see that, and it's kind of like it will just roll on to everyone. Like I think one person picked it up, and then it ended up in the hands of like Alice in Wonderland, and then Slander, and then Nightmare, and then R.L. Grime ended up getting the flip because it was off his song, and then started playing it out. Like you're never going to get these things happen unless you do put your music out there. So like if Paulina didn't post that clip, then the Sable thing wouldn't have happened, the tour wouldn't have happened. Like you just got to put your stuff out there.
Yeah, I think one very important theme that y'all both stress is just kind of, putting your music out there, like you said, not being too critical of yourself, because you never really know when those opportunities will come.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How did you get the name Twerl? Where did that come from?
Well, it's not really like a cool story or anything. It was just I was just looking for something that was like 4 or 5 letters. It was catchy, and I guess a play on words. So obviously Twerl's originally that photo originally spelled with an I, and then I just changed it to an E, and that was pretty much it. There wasn't anything really cool about it, but yeah, it just
sometimes it be like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'm the least creative one. I just used my real name.
You're lucky you got a name that sounds good and works though. Like
Yeah,
It
my
was.
last name is 10 letters, so I don't think that would bode well. I read in an interview from you, Twerl, that during quarantine you really focused on your mental health
Mm.
and like meditated and kind of like did that. What I guess I don't want to sound too blunt, but like why was your reasoning for that? And especially during that time, you know, it was very difficult to have that human connection.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so a couple of reasons, I guess. I was getting to a point, and it's funny because Web3 has actually really helped me with this, but like I was getting to the point where I just didn't feel like the music was going anywhere. There was a disconnect from fans. I didn't really believe in the project anymore, and I was just in my own head a lot about how things are going. I didn't think any of my fans were really my fans, and there's all this stuff. And then I was like, okay, I need to do something about this. I need to kind of get my mental health back on track because I shouldn't be having these thoughts. So then that kind of led to, well, it was actually after a trip to Japan, and I was, yeah, kind of down on myself. And then I just like really started getting into that, and it just kind of turned my mentality around. I started, I guess, getting back into that and losing motivation again, like for most of last year. Like Paulina knows, like I had quite a quiet year last year in terms of music. I mean, that was partially because I was launching my like side business, like production school, but also because, yeah, the kind of like disconnect from fans I felt because of, I guess it's just regular DSPs, because people will hear a song and forget it straight away. And I'm kind of getting that back now with Web3, where like, you know, I feel like fans are actually fans. You know, we can dive into that later, but yeah, I think the reason I got into that whole meditation and stuff was just because of how I was feeling about myself in the industry. Yeah, it definitely helped.
Yeah, I think very important to focus on yourself, and because I mean that kind of reciprocates back into the art as well, and it's just kind of a revolving cycle.
It definitely does. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, gotta take care of yourself first. Take care of
this is a question for both of you. Who have you been listening to lately, or who are your major influences?
This is always a tough question because I can never remember.
For me, influence definitely like Quiet Bison, Pocket. I've been listening to both of them like pretty heavily. I still listen to a lot of hyperpop as well. I could draw a lot of influence from that. Yeah, they're my main two, is Pocket and Quiet Bison. I don't know about you, Paulina.
I think so. The label that I released on that RL does, called Sable Valley. I've pretty much every artist on there I'm really inspired by. I'm actually playing a show with one of them this weekend. His name's EXO. He makes like heavy trap music, but yeah, I think his stuff's amazing. And Pocket as well, who Jaden just mentioned, is a good friend of mine. And I think. Oh, and Sublab. I don't know if anyone would be familiar with him, but
also Tisoki.
Oh yeah, Tisoki's a good friend of ours too.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
Yeah, I think those are probably my like top 4 at the moment.
I'll definitely have to check a few of them out.
Yeah.
How do you? Oh, I had a question for you, Paulina. Did you start out with your vocals, or did you start out more with production, or did it kind of happen simultaneously?
Good question.
So I kind of did both simultaneously, like behind the scenes, but what I kind of did was I worked with a bunch of producers and gave them top lines for their music, kind of to, you know, get to know the scene and stuff, meet people and make those connections. And then by the time I like started releasing my solo project, that was my production, I had all those connections and stuff from doing vocals, that it was pretty easy to, you know, get kind of like support and stuff, since people had already heard my voice. So that was like a pretty nice route to take. Yeah.
Nice. I definitely trying to navigate those two.
Yeah.
Is definitely, how do I say it? Can sometimes be difficult, but for you, it sounded very, very natural and
yeah,
kind of just happened naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I wanted to pivot to the drop, Stay With Me. Can you describe to us I mean, we have the description down here. Started this song in LA, finished it in Australia. And this is your first collaboration together. How was it collaborating for once? Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of how we originally started talking. So we'd actually been collaborating for like quite a while. We've been friends for like a long time through music online. This was our first like kind of in-person collab. Like we were in LA in December, and yeah, we're at the studio and at Ultra, and then just started this there. And then I guess we finished it over like some like Zoom sessions when I was back in Australia recently, a few weeks ago. And if you want to talk about, I guess, the meaning of the song, Paulina, maybe.
So it's funny because we started working on this song at the studio in LA, and then I hadn't written a vocal for it yet, so I just wrote something while Jaden was out and about. I forget what you were doing, but I wrote this vocal in our Airbnb that we rented for like a week, and then I think we just like ended up finishing it up when he got back to Australia. It went through a bunch of different versions and stuff, and it's been like the 3 different songs, but we finally finished it, and it turned out to be like a I can't speak, completely different song from what like the original session was. But yeah, it's basically just about our relationship and long distance and stuff. As you can tell by the title. I wrote it because I knew I would miss him once he leaves. It was kind of like projecting into the future. So yeah, that's about it. And then the artwork I made, we made together. This is just a photo that we found that kind of fit the vibe of the song.
Both pretty heavily into anime, and it kind of works. So I guess like we're going to do a bunch of like Web3 drops to catalog and sound and stuff like that. This being the first, this is kind of going to help with us, being able to see each other and getting my visa and stuff like that. Just kind of we're at a point where we like really want to dive headfirst into this, and I think catalog and sound are going to give us the option, I guess, the avenue to do that. We've actually got a lot of music together, and we plan on putting them all out through Web3.
So this is the first collaboration, and you plan to put out a lot more in the future?
Correct. Yeah. We'll do lots.
All right. Well, without further ado, I will go ahead and play it to the audience so they can hear it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know that you're everything I want, and now I'm scared to let you go, to let you go, to let you go. Why can't you come with me? Time's moving too quickly. Why won't you stay with me? Won't you stay with me? Won't you stay with me? Stay with me. Stay with me. Left your taste on my tongue and it's killing me. Got no one on my side, just got enemies. But now I got you in my life. I wanna give you all my time, but I know you're leaving me farther than I wanna be from you. stay with me? Won't you stay with me? Won't you stay with me? Why can't you come with me? Time's moving too quickly. Why won't you stay with me? Won't you stay with me? Won't you stay with me?
I don't know what it is about that song, but it got me head bopping and in my feelings at the same time.
That's the plan.
Go. Yeah.
There's like a unique push and pull within the song that I can I don't know what it is when the drop hits. I feel like I'm being pushed and pulled.
Yeah.
Is the best way I can describe
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Feel that.
I really love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a reason for the point or 3.33? Do those numbers have any significance?
I just love angel numbers. I'm big on those. I know they probably don't mean shit, but I like seeing like 444, 333 when I look at the clock and stuff. And I think did we upload this on 222 or
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.
I forget. It was close to a date of some sort.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I just like those kind of numbers, and it's a lucky number. The angel numbers, so yeah.
I'm the same way. I have 777 is the one I like.
My best friend's
Rossi.
favorite one is 777. She actually has a song called 777. Yeah.
So how has NFTs kind of impacted you? Have they changed your perspectives on anything? Have they helped you in any sort of way? Just feel free to, either one of you can answer. Yeah, how have they impacted you?
I mean, the space, like the Web3 space, just in general, is really awesome. Like the community I have through sound is like just amazing. Everyone's so supportive, and it's really nice to just have that place where like all the artists that I know and don't know that I've met through Web3, we can kind of just like chat with each other and support each other with these drops. And that's probably my favorite part about Web3 is just like the support and community aspect. But also obviously, there's also the money side of things where like artists aren't making enough to get by with, streaming and whatnot, unless you're playing a ton of shows. It's usually pretty tough to make a livable wage. So my last drop definitely helped me kind of get my groceries and stuff and pay my rent and, put some money into my project and invest in, just furthering that. So yeah, those are like the two kind of main things for me. I'm trying to think what else really. Also just like being able to release music whenever I want. I don't have to rely on a label or something. And yeah, just because nowadays, like if you want to release with a label, you'll have to wait a year before the song comes out, and then by the time the song comes out, I'm like, I hate this song, and then I have to promote it, and it's like, yeah, it's just
and it's
not
crazy
ideal.
how much of an effect that has. Like that's probably why I haven't been as motivated to finish music, because I know how long it's going to be. I have to write a certain type of music to fit a certain type of label, which isn't necessarily something I might want to write. And now this Web3 has given me the ability to say, okay, I can literally write whatever I want, whatever I'm feeling at the time, and I can put it out there to the world, not have to worry about any pressures of labels or if it's going to rack up streams or whatever. Like you get to find genuine fans as well. Like obviously NFTs aren't for everyone, but there might be a few super fans that really fuck with your music and are willing to, back this, and they can also make money off it too. And then you get to build a genuine connection with these fans. I feel like it's just changed my whole outlook on putting out music again. Like I'm finishing a crazy amount of music, whereas before I wasn't finishing any. So it's affected my drive, and I've actually got hope for the music industry because previously like I mentioned before with the mental health thing, the music industry is in a weird way where we're getting just fucked by labels and places like Spotify and Apple Music where we're just not making the money we should. We're giving up the masters to our songs to these labels, and we're getting barely any money from Spotify. And then now we can actually, one, put out the music we want without having to worry, and then two, get paid, what we should be getting for our art, because it is art. People will pay a crazy amount for a painting, so why can't they do the same for a song, which it takes just as much, if not more effort.
Yeah, and y'all speak to a very common, ethos that has been in the music NFT space about artists regaining their power financially, and even just through themselves being able to create this value that they originally wouldn't have been able to really get by themselves without support from a label or a really, really huge fan base.
Exactly.
So these are just testaments to the things that NFTs can do, and it, we're seeing it happen live, and we'll continue to see it in this year and next year in the future.
Yeah, we're so early, so I'm excited to see where things go in the next year, especially.
I'm just getting my dog. She was outside the door.
This is Rue.
This is my baby.
What kind of dog is that?
She's an Australian Shepherd, a mini, and she's a year and a half now. But she keeps me going.
Dogs are the best.
Do without her. Yes, they are. Oh,
hi. Is there anything that you wish you would have known, just like as an artist last year, or even beginning, that stuff that you've learned now that you wish you knew then? Is there anything
in terms of Web3 or just in general as an artist?
In general as an artist, although Web3 as well. It was just because this space is very new. It was kind of hard to really know anything back then because it was still very, very novel to everyone.
True. I don't know. I guess I guess I wish I knew more about. I guess what? Yeah, I'm guessing in terms of labels and stuff, like not just like trying to go for all these labels and valuing my music a bit more. You know what I mean? Like I truly value my music, and I'm I guess a bit pickier now, and I know what I want, and I know what my worth is. And I guess I wish I knew that a year ago when I was like getting in my own head about, oh, what about these labels? What about these labels? Like, yeah, if that kind of makes sense. I guess I wish I knew how to value my music a bit more, but now I do.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's very hard because like there's not really that almost mentor. You can find them, but if you're just starting new, where do you go to really get that knowledge base to really understand how to navigate the space in Web2 and Web3?
Yeah, it's just that people think that the only avenue to take is to make music, get it signed to a label, try get an agent, and do some touring. But there is actually like plenty of other ways to do that, and hopefully this whole Web3 movement will actually show these up and coming artists that you don't have to stick to this same path, that like the right path that everyone else takes. Like, yeah, I feel like this is going to give a lot of people power to make their own lane, and not have to rely on labels.
Right.
Have y'all seen anything, any creative endeavors in Web3 that you would like to do? There's been a lot of other artists who have utility in their NFTs. By holding an NFT, they may get access to unreleased songs or first dibs on certain decision making and things like that. Is there anything that you both want to possibly experiment with in the future?
Yeah, so I mean, it's funny. Pauline Herr actually did that with her first drop on Sound, where she would give anyone who holds her NFT gets, like a VIP pass to any of her shows. So she's already doing the utility thing. For myself, I actually only came up with this on my last release, Shadow, which I did on Catalog. Actually, so I run an online music production school called the Forbidden Society, and we basically do like masterclasses from big electronic acts, and they all come with project files and stuff, and they'll build a song from start to finish. So I'm actually including free access to, it is like over $1,000 worth of masterclasses on there, so you'll get free access to that, and anything we do for the foreseeable future. If you hold any of my music NFTs, I plan to eventually tokenize the platform once, maybe sometime in the next year, where I'll probably do an NFT drop of like 100, which will be an all access pass to the platform. So that's probably something I'm looking at doing too. But as it stands, all future NFTs of mine will include a pass to that. Yeah.
Did you just say that you wanted to tokenize your the Forbidden Society? Is that
correct?
Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah. So I'm either going to do like tenant tokenized, I guess, kind of similar to what Daniel Allen did with the Overstim thing. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, either something like that, or just a straight up NFT drop where it'd be like maybe 100 NFTs, and we would I guess that would be an all access pass to the Forbidden Society and anything we do. So at the moment, there's like $1,000 worth of value in there, but that's just going up every month the more masterclasses we do. So I might do like an NFT for like $100, and that gives you like lifetime access to the thing as well.
I've never heard of that, so I'm very excited to see how that plays out with the Forbidden Society. I definitely see some potential value there with allowing access like that, and
Right.
it gives your true fans, it rewards them in ways that typically aren't ways that they are rewarded.
Exactly. Yeah, just trying to do something different. I mean, I don't know it's not for everyone, but it's something to. I feel like the way things are going, it's not a bad idea. Everyone's going to eventually get onto this. I feel, or majority of people. So I feel like it could be something cool. Open it up to that space.
Mhm.
So yeah, we do masterclasses, and also on the Instagram, as you see, we do a lot of tips and stuff like that, just for helping people just learn as much as they
So
can about
good.
the industry and production.
If you're a producer, go follow this page. It's literally like the best music production page ever. So go follow.
That's awesome. I'm very excited for where this goes in the future, and I'm going to be keeping tabs on it.
Thank you.
Are y'all collectors yourselves? Do y'all collect music NFTs or just NFTs in general?
We do, yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Are there any projects or artists that you've been really enjoying?
Pretty much everything on sound. There to
Yeah.
crush it. I'm
We do have a
especially
lot of great
excited.
music on sound.
Oh,
Yeah.
big time. I'm especially
And
excited for
affordable.
yeah, exactly. I'm especially excited for Sam Glatri's drop, that one in the middle there. That's in like the new wave. I'm really, really excited for him. I've been a fan of him since I started making music. So I'm really excited for that. There's a lot of really great stuff on sound and catalog as well. And just, I guess, normal NFTs as well. I definitely mess with them. Yeah. How about you, Paulina?
Yeah, pretty much just everything on sound as well. My homie Rio Cragen is really dope on there. He's the one that kind of like invited me onto the platform. This girl Pussy Riot is also
She's fucking great.
incredible. Her
She's
last
insanely good.
drop I tried to get, but they sell out so fast, so it's tough.
She does a lot of really good stuff in the space, like a lot of good charity stuff as well. And yeah, she's definitely someone to watch.
Camouflage is also great. I copped Jutes, I think. Yeah, Jutes. He had a drop like a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, that was amazing. Trying to think who else. I tried to cop the Camouflage one the other day, but that sold out. So
every single sound drop has sold out, is what I've heard.
So quick. Yeah, it's honestly under a minute. You can't even get it. Some of them I've only been able to mint. Well, I got the Selection one off Secondary.
I love Selection.
Yeah.
I have Viewfinder from Sam G on my Apple Music, so I was very keen to when he said that. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was releasing on here until you pointed it out.
Man, he made a post, like Paulina sent it to me. I was like, oh my god, I gotta get this.
Yeah, apparently David, who runs sound, just like reached out to him on some like random Twitter account he had that Sam followed for some reason, and he was just like, "Do you want to do a sound drop?" And so he was just like, "Sure." And here he is.
Are there
Yeah.
any non-audio related NFTs that y'all have been experimenting with or just, jumping in to?
I actually used to make I make art. So when I first got into the space, it was actually through like I just started making art NFTs on Zora, I think it was. And my friend Cooper bought one of them that I had that was with a sound. So it was like an art thing that I made with a song over it that I made. It was
Doing
called
music
Astronaut.
NFTs before they were a thing.
Yeah. And then I stopped doing it for a while just because I got busy with music and whatnot. But then jumped into it when my homie Rio invited me onto sound. But I'm trying to think. We actually went through a phase of like making music for NFT projects to like get mints and stuff for free. Just because we wanted to like contribute to their projects in a way that like benefited them, and then join those communities. And we made a theme song for this NFT called
Metastores.
Metastores, I think.
Yeah.
And what else did we do? We've been trying to make music for like the NFT gaming community as well, but that's a little tough. We haven't been able to really make that happen yet. But we're just
Carly's
trying to.
doing pretty well with that. He's making stuff on the Magic Network, like Battlefly and stuff like that. He's doing really well. But that's kind of what we would like to do as well. If we can get into writing stuff for projects, we would love to do that. Yeah, I don't know. Are you holding any NFTs? Pauline? We got the Jungle Freak.
Yeah, I know there was some controversy there, but I don't know if you're familiar with the Jungle Freaks. We have one of those. I think
I'm holding
It
some
sounds like y'all are
Longboard.
very, very integrated in the space, doing a whole bunch of music for everyone.
Yeah.
And really that's kind of the best way to do it, is just to jump right in and experiment and see
exactly.
what, things catch your eye and just where it takes you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Kind of curveball, random question, because you mentioned anime. What animes are you currently watching?
Oh, here we go.
Well, what are we watching at the moment? Been watching Sword Art Online. Pauline, I hadn't seen that, and we've just been watching that together. And there's a new season out, so into that. I'm just finishing up the new season of Attack on Titan, which is insane. New Demon Slayer was dope. Yeah, that's pretty much what we've been watching lately, I guess. Are you into anime?
Yeah, I haven't dove too deep, but Attack on Titan has definitely pulled at my heartstrings.
Yeah.
Ever since the most recent season, I've just been
crazy,
shocked.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger on cliffhangers on cliffhangers.
Yeah, it's insane. I've just been like, oh.
I still need to finish it. I started and then I got distracted by Hunter x Hunter.
I binged Attack on Titan, the first 3 seasons, in a weekend.
Wow.
Right before my finals. It was it sucked me right in.
You can't stop watching. It's just like, oh, and then that last season was just insane. Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah. We're big anime fans.
So back to the music. You wanted to share with us, Twerl, an unreleased track from you and your collaborators. I can't read it, but you can
Echo and Sidetrack and
Echo and Sidetrack, yes.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about that, or whatever you feel like you want to, say to the audience, considering it is unreleased? So feel free to share whatever you feel.
Well, it's out in a couple of weeks. So it's out on the 25th, I think, through Night Mode. That was that label we mentioned before. Pauline released Obsession through them. So we've been friends for like over 10 years. Jono and Jeff, Echo on Sidetrack, they're brothers from Perth. So it was like we finally got around to making something. And I was actually in Auckland, New Zealand for a show last year. And I was showing the promoter for the show who's dropping me at the airport. I was showing him the song because D&B is quite big over there. And then I was like, I'm looking for a vocalist. I wouldn't mind working with someone local. And he was like, I've got some names for you. Like when you land in Perth, I'll have you a bunch of people to listen to. So I landed, listened to the first 3, and I was like, yeah. And he sent me one more, and I was like, wow, like she's insane. Like she had like 20 monthly listeners, like no following, and just this insane talent. And I was like, if we can do this, like to give her a voice and to get her some recognition in New Zealand, that would be great. And it seems like that's going to happen. We've got some like radio premiere and doing some stuff in New Zealand. So it's going to give her that avenue, which is great. And also good because, yeah, I finally got to collaborate with some guys who I've been friends with for 10 years. And I'm really happy with the song. Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite things I've ever worked on.
So good. So
Thank
good.
you. Yeah, I guess that's the backstory of the song. Yeah. It's so, yeah,
Well,
I mean, this is probably the first time anyone's heard it because I keep things pretty private, but if it's out in a couple of weeks, I don't really care. So,
well, regardless, we're still honored, to have this alpha, this unreleased fire.
Here.
And yeah, without further ado, Twirl Echo Sidetrack Under Bright Lights featuring Indie Skies.
Sometimes I can't help but feel like I don't belong here. Out of place, out of mind, like all the time. There's nothing else that feels like it's meant for me. But I've got a sweet escape. On the bright light, illuminate my face. On the bright light, it's shining down on us. On the bright light, illuminate your face. On the bright light, that's when I come take me higher, I wanna see the whole sky. See the galaxy's reflection in your eyes. There's nothing that compares to this energy. I've got a sweet escape. On the bright light, illuminate my face. On the bright light, it's shining down on us. On the bright light, illuminate your face. On the bright light, that's when I come
Banger.
That was so good. It made my AirPod die.
Oh wow, thank you.
That's when you know it's a banger.
That was that was amazing. With 4 people on it, who did what? If you
It was
can
actually,
disclose that.
yeah, very. So I originally started the thing. Sorry, the original idea. And actually, I was doing a masterclass for my platform, and I had to write a track from start to finish, just showing people how I write. And then I sent that. think I had it on my Instagram story, and Jeff from Mech on Sidetrack replied and was like, "Yeah, this is sick." And I was like, do you want to work on it?" So we met up for a couple of sessions, and then Jono came back from England, and then we just ended up finishing it together, found indie, and then met up again, and then wrapped it all up. So yeah, it was a very even collab. Everything was made in in-person sessions, which isn't something I normally do. Usually when you work with someone nowadays, it's, you have a project, you send it to them, you never
Right.
actually, you rarely actually meet up in person. So that was a nice change, and we actually all bounced off each other in a nice way, and it actually all went really smooth. So yeah.
That's amazing. And it sounded, again, the same message we've been kind of saying. It all kind of just happened naturally. We weren't even
Right.
trying to get a collab. It just kind of, worked out that way.
They're the best songs though when that happens.
Yeah.
Do you feel a difference between in-person collabs versus just like sending zips online?
It definitely depends on who it's with. Like, some people you're just not going to gel with, but because they're friends, and because they're like produce different genre, I guess, and we make different stuff. Coming together, we all had something different to offer and a different way of working, and that's why it was kind of like fun, because it was like, okay, you do things that way, and you do things that way, and yeah, we definitely learned a lot from each other as well. And I had the same thing with, like, Pauline Herr. We had a lot of fun working together in person, and Tasoki. Like, it's been really good energy. But then you do have sessions with people where nothing comes from it. That's kind of why it's a lot easier doing the sending each other projects, because you're not forced to work in that time frame. You can work on it. If you're not feeling creative, that's fine. You can come back to it later. So that's why I tend to not do in-person sessions, but these ones just happen to work.
That makes a whole lot of sense. I know I'd be sending collabs sometimes, and it just feels like they're getting sent into the abyss. But 7 months later, they'll send it back, and they'll be like, "Here you go," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I completely forgot I sent you this."
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
It's tough sometimes when you're not feeling creative. I guess that's why sometimes
Right.
the in-person session can work in your favor, because you are forced to do it then and there.
Right.
But it is hard to force creativity. Yeah.
I think it's easier to force if you have someone that's like kind of you can bounce off ideas and stuff though. So
Sure.
yeah, I haven't done a lot of sessions, but I definitely need to do more. I'm very like I like to work on like in my room and not leave the house. So it's hard for me to go to the studio and get out there and have to like meet new people and stuff because you got to kind of get to know the person before you start working on the song. But yeah, I think they're amazing. And
Yeah.
usually, even if you don't make a song, you've at least like made a friend
Right.
that you can work on stuff with
Yeah.
like more often. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, everyone has their preferences, and like, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you make all your songs in your bedroom and it works out,
Right.
that's how it works out.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
A couple more questions, kind of closing questions. Where can we find you? Just like on socials, or and also, what is next for you the next few months? Do you have anything planned, or are you looking to do any metaverse performances from you guys?
I'm at 12 Beats on all socials. I guess over the next few months, I mean, I've got Bright Lights coming out in 2 weeks. I'm moving to Bali in a few weeks as well, and then yeah, I'm hopefully going to be in the States in the next few months with a visa to kickstart that and start playing some shows. But that's pretty much it. Oh, Paulina and I are actually going to be releasing this song here on. Are we allowed to say that, or should we not say that, Paulina? On
We
what
can say
label?
that. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can.
So Bitbird, Sound Hollow's label. We're going to be releasing
Stay with me.
Stay With Me on
Yeah.
there later. So that, I think that's another cool thing, is that whoever does end up taking this NFT is, you know, getting access to this before it gets put on a label. They kind of get, I guess, bragging rights on that, and get to support it before it gets put out to the world. So I think that's kind of a cool thing too. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm up to over the next few months. How about you, Paulina?
I am just this on socials.
Yeah.
I just at Pauline Herr, yeah. And for me, I'm playing a lot of shows in the next few months. Releasing our collab, as he said. Trying to think what other like music I have coming out. Honestly, haven't like locked much in yet. I definitely have a lot of like Web3 plans, but nothing like label wise really, except for the bit release with Jaden, and then I think I have another song with them coming out in April or
The one that you
something.
dropped.
And yeah, I'm actually playing a show in LA on Friday, and then I'm going to Berkeley on Saturday for another show, and then Miami Music Week in 2 weeks, and then a bunch of festivals and stuff. So yeah, that's about it. And then Jaden's gonna come visit, hopefully, in May for my shows, and we really want to go to Japan, so
If
I'm
they open
hoping
the
to do
borders.
that.
They're currently still closed, but that's our plan anyway.
Sounds like a very busy schedule for both of you.
Busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. You know, we look forward to see what you have going on in the future. And yeah, I mean, again, thank you for coming on. I really enjoyed your music. The community really enjoys your music. And you know, the more the merrier that it was a collab, and we got to hear both of your production and vocals, you know, all together.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having us on. Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing this. This is the first time we've done something like this, so
yeah,
really enjoyed it, and getting to talk about something like Web3 that we're both very passionate about. It's just very natural. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. So thank you.
Of course, yeah, y'all are welcome anytime. All right, that will be it for Blockchain Beats with Paulina and Twerl. Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.